Hi, my name is Anthony Crain, and I am here to teach people how to cook for one. I think this is an area that the Food Network has not really covered much. I don't think I see any shows out there that are dedicated to individual people cooking just for themselves. And I want to target all the reasons people don't do it, like there's too much mess, or they prefer to cook for someone else, or they have too much leftovers and you don't want to eat that many of the same leftover. And I want to give people techniques and strategies for how to cook for one. So right now, I'm going to make an Eggs Benedict for one. And if you look on the internet, it's almost always 4 to 6 people that it serves. So you have your muffin, your ham, you have your egg, and your hollandaise sauce. And each of those things takes about 3 minutes. So I cook them in the order that I'm going to assemble them on my plate. So muffin goes first. So I have my muffin here, and I am going to broil these off. We got the muffin started. The next thing I'm going to put on there is a ham. So I'm going to put just a touch of oil into my pan just to help it crisp up a little bit. I only put a tiny bit. It's like a quarter teaspoon, it looks like to me. But that little bit seems to help my ham get nice and crispy. The next thing I'm going to put on top of that would be the poached eggs. So I have 2 eggs here. I put them each in their little thing to make them easier to put into the water. You also want to put a little bit of vinegar into the water, so I'm going to do that. Okay, and the last thing then is the hollandaise sauce itself. You're going to need some melted butter for it, and you need 3 tablespoons. So I'm going to put those into this tiny little pan that I have. I got this little pan. It's supposed to be for little little scrambled eggs, but I discovered I can't flip an egg in here very easily, but I still use it for lots of other things like melting butter, warming up nuts, whatever. Now, I just need to make the hollandaise. Now, I don't like to waste anything. That's one of the things about cooking for one is you have to use up every ingredient. So in this case, all I need is the yolk. So I'm going to put the white into this little ramekin, and I have a little lid for it, and I'm going to put this in the fridge. And tomorrow, I'm either going to make a 1 egg white, 1 egg regular egg omelet, which I'm telling you, if you do it, you will not know the difference between a 2 egg full egg omelet. You won't know. It's that good. So I'll just make an omelet for breakfast, or there's this great fruit pavlova recipe that I can use as well, and that uses, you end up with 2 pavlovas. You can put them in the fridge, eat them 2 different days, and it uses exactly 1 egg white. So I can make the pavlova. So I'm going to take a half teaspoon of salt. That looked like more, but most of it stuck to the spoon. All right, so also just a touch of cayenne, so put like that in there. Some people like a little black pepper, so I do. I'll put that in there as well. Some people don't like that. And so that's pretty much everything I need. So I just set it on my blender for a second and just pulse it. All it needs is that little bit of butter now. So I've noticed that the amount of butter varies dramatically. I've seen recipes that call for up to 6 tablespoons of butter per person, and as little as 3. This one is a 3. Let's take the little guy off, and we're going to just stream this in. So I'm going to take the ham, and I'm going to cut this guy in half. And when you get ham from the deli, you can ask for just 1 slice, or you can have ham sandwiches. That way you can just save a piece for your Benedict. Ooh, that's smoking hot. So put that on there, put that on there. Look how beautiful that is. And look how dark and crispy it is. Okay, next I want to put the egg on. So we got that. Alright, so you can see now we have the eggs. They're just perfectly poached. Now we take our hollandaise, which we just made. Look how beautiful that came out. Just a pinch of cayenne. Maybe that was a little too much. It'll be spicy. And there you go. Eggs Benedict for one. So I'm Anthony Crain, and I am cooking for one. And I think this is a niche that the Food Network desperately needs. Helps if I put the lid on. Alright, so we pulse that guy just to get it kind of started. And now all it needs is that little bit of now there are certain parts of the Eggs Benedict. There's the muffin, the ham, or I like using gravlax. I'm going to show you guys how to make gravlax for one later, which is awesome. It's like a smoked salmon kind of thing, except for that it's dry cured. It's cold cured in the fridge instead of smoked. So put them in my broiler, get those going, and I leave the broiler open a little bit so it doesn't shut off by using this cool little tool I made, thanks to Alton Brown's teaching me from TV. I'm going to see him tomorrow, kind of excited about that. So let's see now, and we got this guy. Now, if you don't like the edges, they look a little bit less pretty, you can just cut the little piece off, and oops, try not to drop your egg. All kinds of other things too. So that's part of the cooking for one philosophy, is you have to figure out ways to not waste any ingredients. So when you do your menu planning, you want to think about what you're going to make the next day or 2 days later. Putting my hand over. Oh, look at that. It's gorgeous. Okay, so we got the egg yolk in there. You also need 2 teaspoons of lemon. So I always have my lemon in a little glass jar as well. Whenever I use a little bit, I can just put it right back in there, and it keeps for a couple of weeks, it feels like to me. Maybe that's not correct, but that's what I've been doing. So we need 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. If you want to be precise about it, you can use a little measuring spoon like this. If you want to be just kind of an eyeballer, then eyeball it. Okay, so we've got the lemon. We're going to need about half a teaspoon of salt. There's no salt in the butter, which is now melted, so let's take that off. Be careful with this. It'll add nice color, and you can also put a little bit across the top at the end for color as well. So we've got the salt, but in fact you can make it with no butter. You can make it with just 2 tablespoons or 1 tablespoon of butter if you want to be a little bit healthier. The minimum normal recipe is 3, that's why I use 3 here, but if you want to go to 2, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with the results. Oh yeah, so let me get this back on there. Really good. So out comes the first egg. People like to blot them on a paper towel, that's what I'm doing here. There's the second egg. Okay, the muffins should be ready now too. Let's get those going. Okay, they probably could have been a little more toasted, but that's okay. Put them down. Just like that. Beautiful. There's some left over, I'm not going to waste that. They say that the vinegar helps you to have a tighter white on your yolk, so that's what I'm going to do. Turn off pulse. Alright, here we go. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Alright, let me just cream it a little bit. Let it start to emulsify a bit, and then a little more. Emulsify, and then a little more. And it's whipping up, emulsifying. Everything else is ready. I can wash all the eggs. So let's get the rest of that in there. Now let's get those eggs out.